Okay, walking around this side of the property. There's that metal shack that I like. There's a burn pile. I'm just gonna walk around here a little bit, get an idea of the property itself. Photographers out and about taking pictures. Quite fascinated with the property and the wood. You know, there's the little fence. So we're trying to figure out if this house is even livable. The inspector is going to let us know. I'm going to go back here a little bit and follow the fence line and see what's going on. There's the back of the house. These two little sheds have electricity. I don't like the placement, but you know, we have a lot of work to do. Right around here, I think, is where Andy wants to put the horses, right between these two trees. It's hot out here, and I'm wearing, I'll show you guys. I know it's ridiculous. It has rained, and typically when we're looking at houses and I'm traipsing through the fields, it's pretty mucky. Right now it's high and dry. They told us it was high and dry. And I'm out here and there's no mush to this property, which is really good. So I didn't get a chance to walk this way. Originally we were going to pick up another 7 acres on that side, but we went ahead and made the offer minus the 7 acres. So it's not a full 12. We've got our 5 acres, and you know, right here is where we'll let the horses graze. But it looks like, you can see how out of shape I am. On the other side of this fence looks like agriculture. They're growing something. Got a couple trees. I don't know if you can see the fence line over there. So that starts the other 7 acres, which she's just going to keep for cattle. They own a ton of property where we are, hundreds and hundreds of acres. Interesting thing about that additional 7 acres, we couldn't come to terms on price. I'm not sure if that's a good move on our part or not, if we're being stubborn. But it's landlocked, nobody can build. There is an easement through our property. I suppose somebody could build if she sold it. In the contract, we have first right of refusal. So we have that for a year if we change our mind. For us, these are big decisions, and we weren't really sure what the right decision is, but I do know we wanted 5 acres, so we're going to start with that. And I can definitely tell there's a movement for this kind of thing, for homesteading, because not much property, and when property comes up, it gets snarfed up pretty quickly. So that's our neighbor in the back, and you could probably see that fence line right there, and that's it. So when the photographer was taking pictures, she pointed out all the nice barn wood, but also that there was a fireplace. So I'm sure Andy saw that, but it was kind of lost on us. You know, we can use that for different projects too. So it's some nice brick. So that's it. I'm gonna head. I'm not gonna walk you back to the house. When I'm at the house, we'll reconvene. So a couple videos today. That was a really long inspection. It was very thorough. We are having a separate septic inspection and a separate well inspection, as well as a termite bug company come out. We want to know what we're getting into. We've never done this before. You know, coming from a residential community, you know, with a brand new home, you don't deal with bugs, you don't deal with black widows, you don't deal with septic well. as much research as we've done, we just want to be sure of the costs that we're stepping into too. So some good news and some odd things about the house. We knew it was an older home. I like the charm of it. It's got some really cool characteristics that I love, and we can show you as you know, we move in and we do a tour of the house. But before we did that, we wanted to be sure that we cleared with the inspection. The house was not built there, and actually on the county documents it says, you know, 1984. The inspector says this is not a 1980s house. This house was built in the 50s, and gave us examples of that with the wiring and insulation, and even the tongue and groove ceiling, you know, is indicative of that time period. And there's no way, he said, that they would have built a home with those materials in the 80s. In addition, you know, we thought it was moved in 2 sections because we could see some settling of one side of the house versus the other. So we were concerned about, you know, just the settling of the house. Nobody has been in it for a while. You know, we do need to have a contractor come out. He says it's not really a big issue. He said, but they did put together the house like it's common to do on the property. He says, but they're 2 separate houses. So the second part of the house was an addition, and it was, you know, he described it as 2 separate houses. So you could clearly see popcorn ceiling, the insulation is there, the wiring is, you know, up to code, whereas on the other side of the house it's, you know, some things need to be tweaked. The electrical needs to be tweaked. There's nothing glaring, but it makes sense because when we were touring it with the kids, I said, where's the laundry hookup, you know? And the kids pointed to a clothesline, you know, outside, and there is no laundry hookup. That's something that we're going to deal with before we move in. We're going to turn one of the bedrooms into a large bathroom, and put the washer and dryer in there. I don't mind doing laundry by hand and hanging it up. I remember a time when my father did that. That doesn't faze me at all. With the number of kids that we have in this family, we're not wanting to, you know, shock their systems. You know, we're headed to off-grid living, but we're transitioning, and the kids are kind of kicking it off with us. So we're not going to hand wash laundry as we tease the kids that we are. You know, we're definitely going to address that situation. So that's that. We'll wait for the inspection of the well and septic tank, and you know, now Andy wants to get a contractor in there just to see what it would take just to level out the house and make those tweaks in the you know, the crawl space, and get the grade the way that it should be, and you know, small things that you deal with when you're not in a brand new, you know, home. I mean, this is our dream. So while we're, you know, excited, it's also kind of scary. Talk to you later.